You are listening to the Spine Whisperers podcast. Please know that our doctors are here to only educate, not diagnose on this podcast. If you have any questions, please feel free to find us at www.mfwellness.org.
Hello, everybody. We are back. Looks like spring out there. It's technically still winter, but, you know, we get all this nice weather now, then we get pounded like in the middle of April. I'm going to be so mad. It's going to be super frustrating.
So we had like 2 inches of snow?
Yeah. St. Louis region, we average 36 inches per winter. And I don't think we've had 4. It's been just catastrophic.
I think south of the city's had more.
Yeah.
We've had
nothing.
Hardly anything.
It's sad. You know?
Yeah.
Had real plans to enjoy the snow. Like, that's what I like about living here. You got all 4 seasons. I think it's awesome. I wouldn't want it to be just awesome all the time.
You just don't know when they're going to happen.
That's right. That's exactly right, bro. That's right. So,
winter? No. Or spring?
We're
in winter. No. Summer.
With me today, is I like that one piece of paper that has false spring, second mud season.
Yeah.
Somebody had it. Monica put it up one time. It was really funny. It was like, you were here. It's like second mud. So with me, as always, Dr. Matt Fink.
Hello.
Dr. Brad Maurer.
Yes.
And then I'm running the mics today because I wanted to do kind of a special family research podcast, just really quick, just bring you guys up to date on anything interesting regarding research and chiropractic that has to do with helping you raise healthy kids or just be healthy yourself. And now that I'm going to say that COVID is on the back burner, I guess is what I'll say. A lot of the research dollars have been getting allocated back into other research studies that doesn't have something to do with COVID. So it's pretty great. And so 2 things I wanted to bring to your attention. The first is a study where they were looking at video games and children's cognitive ability. So it's something we've always said, like, you know, the TV is going to turn their brains to mush, or playing video games with their friends all day is going to turn their brains to mush. And one super great study from about 6 years ago noted that children who play video games are better than children that don't at working with a team. And that was a pretty cool study. That came out, that was like 07 or 08. But the one I want to talk about this morning for a minute is just that there's a study that had looked at, like, hey, does this impair these kids' ability to think later on? And the answer is unequivocally no. You know, it's a pretty big study. It was completed this year. It was published on, I think, the 7th, just this month, just February. And it was done in the Journal of Media Psychology. And it was pretty good. It was funded by it was funded by National Science Foundation. So pretty good study. It wasn't funded by Sega or PlayStation. You know, Xbox didn't have any money. Mountain Dew was not sponsoring, you know, that study. And
Monster's not in
Monster.
there.
That's what I was thinking of. Monster Energy didn't sponsor.
Red Bull, get your wings.
And the point that I want to make is, like, I don't care that video games don't mess with their cognitive. That's not the problem with the kids today. The problem with kids today is that they don't go outside and they don't move around. That's the problem. If you take video games and you put them outside, I am all for that. You know, I'm all for some Mario Kart out in the woods, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to get your child outside, that is what I am for. And so I want people to understand that. You know, it's the same thing when we argue about processed foods, or we argue about Nutra or Splenda. And people are like, oh, I heard they're bad. I heard there's bad. You know, what's bad is overconsumption of calories. That's what's bad. That's what has a lot of documented effects. So whatever we got to do to get those down, then we can talk about the rationale afterwards. So what I want people to understand is that, no, video games don't mess with how your kids think. It doesn't impair them at all. The problem is you can't play video games while you're walking. And once you can, awesome. And we're almost there, but we're not there now. And so I just want parents to know, hey, sometimes you got to play Mario Kart. I'm down with it, man. Like, I'll play with you. It'll be awesome. But we're going to go for a walk first. We're going to get out of the house. We're going to do something. And I'm just begging moms and dads, you know, please, they got to go outside. They got to go. You got to go with them, and they got to go. Yep. It's tough now. You know, the long, cold winter, the wind, I know. You've got every reason not to do it. But you got to do it. We got to do it. That's the problem.
No excuse this year because we didn't have winter. So.
Yeah, we really didn't. Yeah. We really didn't.
Just spring,
60 degrees.
Fall.
It's just dark. You know, or a treadmill. Who cares? Who cares? You know, I have rescinded, you see all these scary things about the treadmill, but I have rescinded my policy regarding treadmills at my house. I'm like, boys, don't get on that thing, because my kids they'll like swing from the rails like they're orangutans, like you're just going to get rope burns. But my kids, if they want to do, I don't care. I watch them, show them how to use it, and I don't care. Whatever it takes to get a mile on those kids. I don't care what it takes. And that's how you've got to be. You've got to be there's convenience and then there's health. We started off healthy but inconvenient as children of the 70s and 80s, But these young people, it's so convenient for them that it's just super unhealthy.
It is a lot of convenience.
And you're oftentimes going to be the lone parent doing something awesome for your kids. And you're never going to get the credit for it, except for we will know that you did it and we love you. We know it's tough. Yeah. If you want us, we know it's tough. And I have seen both Dr. Matt and Dr. Brad on occasion have to step in to back up. Some parents are talking about this or that, and their kids in the office getting adjusted to. They're like, hey, I don't want to blah, blah, blah. And then there's no faster way to get Dr. Matt to activate his dad bones than telling your mom and dad no in this practice. And so if you need us to help you talk to your kids, man, we'll do that. We'll do anything. We will do anything to see your child happy and healthy. And more and more and more as we look at the studies coming back, lack of motion, lack of spinal motion is really driving a lot of changes to the way people's brains work. It's really interesting. It's horrible, but it's interesting.
And one of the really good ways to go about making sure your kid gets outside or does some sort of exercise is make sure that you're gapping those time periods that your kid's playing the iPad or on their phone. Mm-hmm. So if they're playing for a half an hour, give them that half an hour, no problem. But they're outside or they're doing something else for a half an hour. It's the continuous bad posture or overstimulation.
That's it. Thank you for bringing that up.
Through a couple hours, yeah.
That's right. Cognitive, who cares? What's your kid doing are they playing on an iPad looking down? Because forget that. That's a horribly unhealthy position. You move that head forward 1 millimeter relative to the spine. You're taking away from apical lung volume. You're elevating carotid artery blood pressure. You're elevating spinal canal pressure. You're doing all kinds of stuff to their upper extremity and their shoulders. I'm talking about video games on a TV that is eye height, not an iPad. An iPad you just throw in the trash. Use it, they're incredibly useful, but don't game on those things.
That's right.
No matter how big the iPad is, it's the posture. So thank you for bringing that up. I would have been mad.
Yeah, we spent time talking about the quote-unquote horn.
Yeah, man.
In the back of the head.
Yeah, we've podcast laughing about it, and now all this week, some massive.
There's some good ones. We saw some good ones this week so far.
Massive calcification of the erector spinae and the other muscles at the base of the skull. It's incredible how bad it is. Remember when we were laughing about it?
Yeah.
We did a podcast years ago. We were just joking about it. Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, the podcast is...
it's called Children of the Horn?
Children of the Horn, that's right.
I think it was the use of the term horn.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Right.
But it develops...
It's like fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm bone.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway. All right. That's the first one. The second one is a study that came out of the BMC, and so they have a geriatric publication, and it's really good. It's open access, a bunch of really good studies. They just look at health in elderly populations. Now, when they say geriatric, they mean populations feeding into the geriatric population. So, not 80 and 90-year-olds, but they're talking about anything 50 and 55 plus. Now, as somebody that's going to be 50 someday, if you call me geriatric, I'll come get you. But there's a difference between being 20 and being not 20. And you're only 20 years old for about 15 minutes. So you just have to spend the rest of your life kind of preparing to not be 20. And so what they looked at was this, from time to time, the news stations will be like, man, we're low on ratings. What can we do? Well, we got to scare people into doing something. And they'll run some complete BS story about stroke and chiropractic. And we've done podcasts on it, but I just want to update you guys with the latest information. And so what these guys did was they just looked at two very large groups of people, and they looked at everyone that had a Part B Medicare outpatient encounter. So that's a very, very large group of people. So from 2007 to 2015, every single Medicare Part B that got an adjustment, they looked at those people, whether they had strokes versus a control group that did not. So they matched the group for the age, Then they matched it for claims, and then they matched it for a crossover case analysis, comparing the cases themselves to like the previous 6 to 7 months. How are they doing versus that? And then they looked at different time frames, 7 days after, 14 days after, and then 30 days after. And the conclusion is that among Medicare beneficiaries that participated in the study, that's pretty much everybody, because they're just recording data, the risk of dissection is no greater than that in the control group, meaning there's no difference. So it's incredibly irresponsible to call chiropractic dangerous or stroke-inducing, especially in the light of the opioid crisis that we're in, and in light of everything else that's going on, and how patients, the studies coming out demonstrating patients getting better without the use of drugs, it's just ridiculously irresponsible. And anybody that says it, in worst case, it's libel, and at best, it's medical malpractice.
And I would say we still hear that
Still,
from a patient,
to this day.
saying that their
friend,
some physician or someone in the medical,
watch out,
has told them, don't go there.
Yeah,
Stroke.
It's still,
stroke.
and it's like they're so irresponsible. They just think they can say whatever they want because they've heard it, and they just need to grow up. They just need to grow up, and if they want to talk about it, they know where they can find us. At some point they just have to knock it off. And
this is a study done by, like you said, this
isn't some chiropractor doing the study. There's no chiropractor on this study. I don't think. No, Wheaton. No, there's not. It's just it's ridiculous. So I just want to make sure everybody understands it. Now, having said that, of the 50 billion bones we move, there's only one bone itself that leads to that, or not leads to that, but is implicated in that. And man, we rarely even do those adjustments here anyway, And so it's just ridiculous. Just knock it off, in light of everything else that's going on, how scared people are, and how they need real solid help, real good information. What's going on after COVID? What's real? What's not? What's diets? What nutrition? Instead of doing that, they just want to just reach out and just say something stupid about the work that we're doing here. So again, my invitation to talk to anybody of those guys is open. And if they ever want to make a comment about it, then they know where they can find me. And I've got a couple things that I want to say to them. So that'll be a really good conversation, I think. So anyway, I just wanted to go over those two things. So number one, let's get those kids moving, and make sure we're playing those video games on a TV. And then number two, knock it off with the stroke thing. Just knock it off. That's not to say that strokes don't happen in chiropractic offices. Of course they do. People show up with them. No intervention is free of risk. No intervention. From walking in the door to a place to open heart surgery. They all carry an inherent risk. To label chiropractic as dangerous or risky as compared to any other one is just it's beyond ridiculous. It's irresponsible. Anyway, Dr. Matt, you have something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Dr. David Elton. He's been kind of doing some behind the scenes work on getting chiropractic not more accepted, because we know it's already accepted, but regarding the insurance, we have to fight for every insurance claim that we send out.
Physically fight.
We have to physically fight. Now, most of our patients don't know this, or like, oh, you guys are getting paid by the insurance, right? More than likely not. The reason why is because the insurance game has changed in the last 20 years.
It's a disaster.
And for chiropractors now, we have to resubmit, redo notes.
Same thing with all your manual therapies.
Yeah.
PTs get it worse than us, actually.
Yeah, I've heard many complaints from some of the
Our
PTs
physical
we
therapy
take care
patients
of.
are really mad. And they have every right to be.
So Dr. David has gone through a couple different studies regarding chiropractic and the first line of treatments. And going to chiropractors first is actually the most effective, most cost-effective, and most reliable way regarding treatment of neck pain, low back pain. Helps reduce the addiction to the opioids, helps reduce the overall length of the case. So he's got a couple different things going on. So Dr. David Elton, thank you for your work in the insurance.
Good job, Dave.
insurance. And that article actually comes from Dynamic Chiropractic.
We see you, David.
In December. So.
We see you out there.
Doing the work.
Yeah, 2022. So just a couple months ago.
Yeah,
Pretty
Chiropractor
cool.
of the year.
Maybe we should have him on our podcast.
We should.
Dude, we should.
David.
We're coming for you. That's a great idea, Brad.
Yeah. The other thing is there's a certain amount of times for each age group regarding screen time. If you have if you have questions, we have answers.
I love it.
My email is Dr. Matt
Boom.
at mfwellness.org.
All right. We love you guys. Thanks very much. We'll be in the office screaming about stuff as well. And then let's get ready for spring. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
All right.
Spring is
Already
sprung.
here, apparently.
It's already here, yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later.
A big thank you goes to Hug Monster Sound for all the hard work they put into making us sound so great.